All right, and we are live. It is Mentorship Monday. We're going to cover some really cool stuff here tonight. So, Masher got some great examples here. Let your eyes zoom in right here, and we're going to talk about how you can grab almost every single one of these. I'm just kidding. You can't grab every one of them, but I am going to show you how it is quite easy, especially on a day like today. High time frames. What did we get? We've got some sideways actions, clear as a bell on the highest time frame, and you can still play down inside, especially when you're using the masher. And I had a conversation with one of our members earlier today who was saying, hey, I've got some fear as I switch into going live. How can I take care of some things? And I was surprised when I got on that call, didn't even know what the masher was. Oof! Ouch. All right, let's type it up in the chat. If you know about the masher, let's type masher in the chat. Smash the masher, and while you're smashing it, go ahead and hit that like button, and let's get into it here tonight, right now. All right, let's get into our main window here, and I'm going to zoom all the way back out to this right here. Okay, so let me disconnect from our live feed connection there, and then let's take a peek at some of the charts. So some of the play setups tonight, we're going to go over some reviews. I've got 2 members lined up to do reviews. We get so much out of that. I'm going to show you guys some play setups that showed up here today, like I just kind of started to point out right there. And then I'm going to go to the Ask Vinny questions section. There are some good questions in there to kind of cover big picture items. Once you know our strategies, it's kind of a dime a dozen. You know the strategies, you know a headshot, you know a 2-finger salute, you know a double dot, you know the moonshot, you know Enigma. But when we're putting it together, this is what Mentorship Mondays are about. Again, we've got a lot of videos around that in the live in the premium member training, but on Mentorship Monday, you get to bring your questions if you are struggling with something or you've got questions around it. Hey, Dr. Mahmoud, we got our first super chat. Wow, $36.99. Wow, I feel like I just might have to go. We have to go buy something here tonight. That's exciting. Thank you for that. Appreciate that. There, Dr. Mahmoud, welcome aboard. Great to have you guys with us here tonight. So, look at this. What is this? Now, if you look at this pivot and this pivot, now you may not be able to catch this one, but imagine you saw this one before. And if you just simply do what I've told you to do before, make a note of where this was located on the histogram on the MACV right here. Just simply point at it, look at it, be like, yes, was there a pivot point there? Yes. Was it significant enough for it to matter? Yes. So let's go ahead and mark that. Let's press F6 here. Doesn't have to be exactly perfect, but we want to draw it right around there. And now if we return to that location again, I might want to take that pivot. So here we are. This was earlier in the day at around 11:30 a.m. And then lo and behold, here we are again at the end. That's not even the end of the day. This is 1 p.m. This is great time to be sitting there at your desk. And what do we have once again? A perfect pivot turn that coincides with an alpha omega cross. Beautiful play setup here. Doesn't get much easier than that to know where we're taking this now. Is this actually an entry? Am I just going to go off of an alpha omega? No, but what do? I shift right over here to the right and I look for an entry. This can be anything. Now at this point, we can do a double dot, we can headshot, we can do Enigma. But once this is played, again, this is higher time frames. This doesn't just instantaneously, rip. This thing has plenty of time to run in it. Let's use our ruler tool here and see how much this one could get here on this one alone. So we are top to bottom. That is a total of 142 ticks from top to bottom here. Now, you don't have to get all 142, but let's say you grabbed 20 out of that. What if you grabbed 40 out of that? Can you grab 50 out of this? You can grab 100 ticks out of this and not even grab the meat of this move from here to here. You can still grab 100 ticks off of that. Now, what if there was a double cross over here on the right hand side going in that direction? But this is why I am telling you the masher is such an important thing for you to keep an eye on as you are drawing these. Now, another one that we might see up here, we want to see what about the top side? Can we match anything up with the top side? So this was a significant move down right here as we pop this area. Now, it doesn't have an alpha or an omega right here, so it's a little bit less valid to me, but we do see a nice move down. So let's go ahead and mark it anyways. So that's going to be this pivot right here. I'm pressing F6. I'm going to mark it out. And here we go again. What do we see here? One at, what time was this one? 18. Wow, that's only 18 minutes after that first one. So this move from here to here, you have 18 minutes for this play. Doesn't sound like very long, but for us, that's an eternity. 18 minutes. Wow. I mean, I want to get my trades done in a couple minutes here, but the whole move there, you got full 18 minutes to decide and take a position on that. What is that? Is that 199? Did you just throw down $200? All right, I'm taking the wifey out for something nice this weekend. Thank you, Dr. Mahmoud. All right, thank you for that. I really appreciate it. You guys are awesome. Okay, so check this out. We got another pivot here touching the prior, and what else came in? Did we get an alpha omega? We did. So we got the alpha omega showing up as well, beginning and the end, beginning of the move, ending of the move, and the beginning of a new one. Look at these. We are going from dot to dot to dot off of the alpha omegas. This is most important in what type of market environment? Sideways market environments. And I kind of gave this away at the very beginning of the video here, but up here in the high time frames, you can start to see this developing. It is a Monday as well, so again, common day for things to be a little bit slow and kind of staying around, especially in the golden ropes. We moved up and then into the golden ropes area, and we were sideways on the highest time frame, which means on these types of days, great opportunities for big reversals. And by big, it's relative. On the lowest time frames though, these are just giving the candy away. Get into a position, target one, hold out a runner, exit on what? If I'm going to hold my runner, what am I going to hold till? Somebody in our room last week was literally chanting to themselves. Do you remember what they chanted to themselves? What did they say? What was the phrase that student of ours kept saying? I'll give you a hint. It started with hold. Can you remember? Hold till when? Hold till. What did he say? He kept chanting it to himself, trying to drill it into himself because he always was dropping it out. Yes, Missile coming in with the opposing signal. Hold to the opposing signal. Hold to the opposing signal. Hold to the opposing signal. Write that down here tonight. If you were not chanting this already this week after you saw one of our members do that last week and crush it, do it for yourself. You need to chant these things until they become part of you. Hold to the opposing signal. Hold to the opposing signal. And I'm going to show you guys some reviews here tonight where I saw our members. I bet they wish they would have just well, some of them have a hard time holding until the closing position or the opposing signal, but some of them have a hard time closing at the opposing signal. Like, you're still holding it. You need to be prepared for an opposing signal show up. This is the way we approach the video game, and then boom, we want to close out that position, right? Hold to the opposing signal. That's right. So this one that we are getting beginning and ends right here, and this is in, if you want to look at one of the videos on how to do this to make sure that you are tuned in properly, go to the how to tune your alpha omegas. Okay, these are perfect pivots here, and these aren't even well tuned here, but you can tune these in on each time frame. These just happen to perfectly coincide right there, a nice 11 right here, and this works really well in the sideways market condition, even more so than when it is not. So I want to make sure that's iterated here, because it doesn't only work in this environment, it just works better in this environment. And by better, I'm defining it myself I define better as I get better pivot entries where it calls the entire move, right? One to solve them all. I can get a big boatload out of one move. That's what I mean by they tend to be better in these environments all by themselves. Now this one happened to have the alpha and a dot right here, so we've got a headshot with an alpha omega, and I mean that's just off to the races. And then we get to exit our runner on a pink dot, right? Because that's the opposing signal. Huge moves here, even though people might say sideways market condition today, it's garbage. Now Speaking of, well, let's take a peek at. I want to show one of our members that I want to talk about a trader funding tip. I know everybody's going to be. You need to be tuned into this part. We got a lot of people trading trader funding programs. We know the pros and cons to them. You know my history on those. Like at some point, I was like, I'm not really a big fan because I mean, I still think that I wish they would be a little bit more forthcoming with understanding that you're not really trading a $50,000 or $150,000 account when they're limiting how many contracts you can trade. But let's scroll up here and take a peek at some of our members and go, okay, so one of our members hit $28,000 today in their trader funding program. And let's talk about how this was possible, what you can do between the two. I like that he had two screenshots here. So coming in here on the judge. So on one single account, this is $2,800. He's running 10 accounts over the Apex Trade copier, although he's not using the Apex Trade copier. I have heard, again, this is not personal experience. This is from other members and the people who are using these. Replicanto, if you guys want to write down one that some of our members have said, hey, look into Replicanto, seems to work a little bit better. Now, each of these trade copiers, I've looked into some of their documentation, and all of them say, be careful with the performance, that there is going to be some lag in there, and it's not really lag, it's more about how much information it's trying to write across all of the accounts that it's executing on. There will be some additional slowness, maybe some hesitations. The entries aren't going to be exact sometimes when the market moves very quickly. All the caveats to them. Again, we're not supporting specifically any of these, but if you are using them, here's the difference. He did 28K today, folks. I mean, I'm never thinking about myself doing 28K in a single day unless there's some, amazingly great move. You're talking about, a major move day. This was a normal day pulling 28K. Traded one account for 2,800, but across the Replicanto here, $28,000 in the day. Now, one of the things he gave away though, okay, you might think, okay, we all know this, Vinny. No, here's the kicker right here. We asked him specifically because other people have tried this, but they would have more issues with lag and things of the sort. And he came across something here that I tuned into as he said this. One of the things that he's doing differently, what is he doing different than everybody else? Here's one thing that I cued in on. In the trade copiers, okay, we're talking about specifically around, okay, number one thing that we talked about here tonight. Somebody check me on that spelling. I believe that's how it's spelled. The Replicanto is the one you want to do. Now, dim copy. What does this mean? So, and data feed. Let's talk about the data feed. Now, you guys feel free, reach out to me and tell me if I got this wrong here from today. So, the trade copier, the trader funding programs run off of a paper account. It's actually more like a paper data feed. And the one particularly that seems to have, a lot of problems, no surprise, Apex. And why though? The question is why? They've got a ton of people, quite frankly. They are, from a standpoint, it's arguable at this point, but they have kind of stood out as the champion, right? Am I right? You guys kind of tell me in the chat there, is Apex still the best? Top Step just kind of changed some things recently, and they kind of go back and forth with different ones of like who's better. For Bulinex in on this whole thing. But the question here is, what's up with this data feed? We have lots of people who all of a sudden, like, the trade doesn't quite move well, and like all of a sudden you can't move your order. The order seems to be kind of locked on it, and it's not just NinjaTrader because or AlgoBox either, because they'll end up having this outside of the platform. There's something going on there with that data feed. So what some of our members had found was running it off of some of the other data feeds. So some of those names might be Kinetic, CQG, and setting up two data feeds to first connect to your Kinetic data feed or other. Basically, don't use just the Apex data feed. First thing you do, First, connect to anything else. Connect to the kinetic data feed or the CQG data feed. Now, you will have to pay for these separate, but you guys have seen it. If you are a non-professional, these are quite cheap, less than $20 a month for most of these for the entire CME data pack. If you don't know what we're talking about, go over into our Apex room or the trader funding room on the left-hand side of our Discord. More of this chat is going on, but I want to cover this here tonight on a Mentorship Monday with you, because I think one of the things that he found that was different here today was this right here. I'm going to come back to it. Just hang with me. So when you go to Apex, they actually recommend, if you're using a trade copier, the idea is to have your first account. I would call it the leader account. Yeah, you guys tell me if there's a different name for it that when you're using this, but it's called, I would call it the leader account. The others would be followers. Okay, so you got the concept of leader follower. The leader account, it seems like from today, this was a rather large difference in what the judge, everybody's like, well, how were you able to do this? Like, I was having issues today and other people were having issues, but he's like, I didn't have any issues. So, okay, let's figure out, well, what is he doing different? So I was asking him, like, what's going on different? And this was what he said. That leader account, Apex tells you to use one of their accounts as the leader and copy it over to the others. Okay. Well, guess what the judge is not doing? The judge is not using the leader account from Apex. He's using the leader account with a sim, which means that the data feed that it's reading from while he is active on a chart is coming from either kinetic or CQG, which happens to be a higher quality. Now, I will say everything that I'm talking about here tonight is my opinion. I'm not going to say either stuff is fact, because I don't want these guys coming out here and suing me like, you said that theirs is better than ours and ours is bad. Listen, my opinion, from what we have seen, there seems to be a disturbance in the force over here. You guys know what I'm talking about. Have you guys experienced this with this paper data feed thing that's going on with Apex and maybe some of the others as well? It just doesn't seem, if you have traded with your own live data feed, it is just not the same. Am I right? You know what I'm talking about, right? But I do believe, yes, the juicy secret, as Paul said, I do believe this kind of is a little bit of a juicy secret, and here's why. So try this. And I'm not going to tell you do this or anything. All this is my opinion, something you might want to try. Remember, everything here tonight is for educational and informational purposes only, and of course entertainment, because you know it's funny too sometimes. All right, so but if you were to take some of this, you might want to try the sim copy instead of the Apex that they're telling you to do, because what happens is, as you're trading across your sim account, you're not getting all these lockups and hangups and stuff like just not quite, you're like moving the orders and it's not quite right. So as these paper feeds kind of get delayed, and I'll say some of it might be because I mentioned how Apex is number one. Well, they've got tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people in these. In fact, if anybody has real numbers, type them over in the chat for me. Let me know, like, approximately how many people are running off of Apex's data feed off of their servers on, you know, any given day. Do they? I think they kind of give out some of those numbers on occasions. Does anybody know what those numbers are? Okay, but it's a lot. Okay, and so what I have a feeling of, perhaps, and remember everything I'm saying here is perhaps speculation, I am just considering and thinking through, what if their paper data feed servers are a little bit overtaxed? And let me say something, if they were overtaxed, what would be their incentive to fix it? Ooh, I'm about to get in trouble now. If they are financially, and I say if they are financially incentivized for you to fail so that you're paying for a reset. Let's say that you made 20,000 in a month. They don't have to pay 20,000 because oops, something messed up. Oopsies, I guess we don't have to pay out 20,000. Oh, and you have to restart and set again. Oh, another reset fee. Oh, another data fee. Oh, I kind of start to see the numbers. I personally feel, remember, all these are my feelings, all of my speculations. I have no specific evidence to the contrary, but I'm just, as we're all here having a conversation, sitting around the campfire, grabbing a brew, I might ask myself, why would they be financially incentivized to make this data feed any better when, if people get wrecked on this, they get paid? And they don't have to pay. It's like two reasons for me that I'm like, listen, I'm all about following the money these days. I mean, you can watch any part of news these days and follow the money. People are willing to lie about just about everything. We're telling you to take shots on BS these days. Like, you can't even trust the medical field anymore, right? I digress. First connect, here we go. First connection, make sure that you are connected to something that is not this. And remember, everything I'm saying here is, I'm not telling you not to. I'm just saying I wouldn't. Are you following what I'm cooking here a little bit? I would probably connect these first, then your second connection, because you do have to be connected to them for it to register. Your second connection to whatever your trader funding program is. And again, this applies to everything. I'm just generally applying it to Apex, but maybe it's Top Step, any of the others. And I think Apex particularly has more of a problem because they have the most people on it, and I think their servers are just overwhelmed. I know at some point they were getting so overwhelmed that they got a deal with, I forget which company, I don't want to name names, but they got their own servers dedicated to them. And I mean, it's weird, right? That seems like it should be better, but for some reason, seems like it's a little worse. Maybe. I mean, all speculation here tonight, folks. Nothing written in concrete whatsoever. I don't want my legal team talking to anybody else. You know what I'm saying? We've already got enough fun that we're having with some of these other guys. So first and second connection, connect on your second one over to them, so you'll have the clean data feed, your sim copy. So as you would execute here, let that copy over to the follower accounts and go into the Apex. And even if they are lagged or whatever happening behind the scenes, they will, you know, air quotes here, I'm going to catch up and execute appropriately as you are mashing the button here. Those are queued. Okay, so from a technical standpoint, these are being, the term is queued. Okay, and if you know anything about message queuing, these are serial, etc. So they're sitting in queue to be executed. Hard for you as a human to deal with that while you're trying to move something asynchronously, because that's the other term, is you're asynchronously trying to move your stop order around or your target order around. And if it's hanging on you because you're on what? Because you're on this turd, I mean, great, beautiful trade copy service paperinator 9000. It's hanging up on you, locking up on you, and you're like, oh, I wonder why this works so well. Why is that? Why is this working so well? I don't know. Well, the proof is in the pudding to me when I'm like, he's just over here. Everybody else, like, I hear people like, you know, trouble. And the judge is like, bro, I don't know what your problem is. Like, I've been crushing it. And even today, he's like, dude, with 10 accounts, I just crushed $28,000. Here's my single account. And here's times 10. And folks, this, like they say, well, there could be some discrepancies between the folks. This is on, he just crushed it. He just crushed it. And what's the difference? Sim, leader, real, or I mean, I guess I'll call it virtual. I call them virtual accounts, okay, because they're not really live. You understand what I'm saying, right? But they are live market conditions, but they're virtual. Everybody understand that? If you don't know about that, we need to go study trader funding programs. Like, your orders not being sent to the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. You're not really going against real live orders. It's virtual. It is a virtual casino, and the trader funding program has to pay you out. So the judge, as of right now, getting owed $28K today. Now, they probably want him to fail. I mean, I'm just being honest. Like, I think they want him to fail. You guys tell me. Y'all think you want him to win? Y'all think he wants, you know, he paid $18 for his account? I don't know. How much you paid the judge? What's the least anybody has paid? Let's see. Type it in the chat. How much you paid for your most recent Apex account? Who paid the cheapest? I want to see who's got the cheapest Apex account. Who got the best deal? Type it over there in the comments. I'm curious. But on average, like, let's say that he paid $80 for each account here, and he's getting paid out pretty big money here. Now 80 times 10, so he paid $800. So, I mean, Apex or whoever trader funding program is, you know, they're happy. They're like, oh, thank you for your $800, sir. And then he's like, yeah, pay me $28K. Okay, this is significant difference of what you put in versus what you've gotten out. You follow me? You understand how there's like some pretty strong financial incentive for this not to work well. I'm just going to leave that right there. Speculation, pure speculation, pure speculation. All speculation here tonight. Just asking the questions. Maybe you've got answers. You tell me. I don't know. Your 50K account cost you $36. Okay, who beat that? Oh, I saw somebody said $17. Perception did $17 for what? Which trader funding program did $17? Was that a 50K account? I saw $19. I saw $36. But you get my point, right? Very inexpensive. Okay, so yeah. I mean, it's strong. That's a strong deal. So even at $36, that means times 10. That would only be $360 that you paid in, and they may have to pay out. And I say may because I mean he's got to pass all their little things, right? But they're gonna. I mean, could they hypothetically jack up the data feed connection for a moment and oops, I don't know, don't know what happened. Oops. Yep, I guess you took a $2,000 drawdown. Oops. You broke the trailing drawdown rule. Oops. I guess we're not paying that out. Oops. I'm just saying, hypothetically speaking, it just seems like there's a significant yeah. Apex 90% off first month and 80% after. 99% off Apex evals? What? Was there really a 99% off? Really? I don't know. All I know is very inexpensive, paying it out. Okay, have I gotten into the total? That was conspiracy theory time here tonight. That was tinfoil hat time. Everybody, let's set our tinfoil hats aside now. Back to business. Speaking of business, congratulations to you guys who are absolutely, I mean, you guys are just crushing it. I'm watching the numbers in the room. Just absolutely outstanding work. We've got our technician all pretty close to being all wound up. I think I'm going to spend one more week with our tech. Tech tickets are getting taken care of quite well, and so super shout outs to Neo. He's doing a great job with the tickets. We are working through each of these, teaching him all the different stuff, so hopefully he's doing a great job. I've heard good things from some of you guys who've got to interview, not interview, got to interact with him. I interviewed him, but interact with him and get that stuff going, so that's been awesome. And SLAs, let's talk about this. So some people had said, hey, I put in a ticket on Friday, but it didn't get taken care of, and they're emailing me on Sunday. So our SLA is going to be kind of a standard SLA thing. One full business day, and it's the end of the next business day. Okay, so on a Friday, and if there's no holidays, it should be Monday, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's kind of our close of business type of time. So 4 p.m. Eastern. So if you can't put in on 2 o'clock on a Friday, don't be like, oh, I'm getting my thing done. That now it would be great. Sometimes we will get to you, at that end of day thing. But we do have an SLA, service level agreement, that we will do within one business day, that we will start to work on your issue. Now we don't know. Sometimes these things can be more complicated, but we will have addressed your ticket, at least started to converse with you, start to work with you within one business day. I don't know if I'm saying that properly. By the following close of business day. Does that make sense? So after holidays or after weekends and whatnot, that covers everything. Following business, end of day. Make sense? Cool. So be a little understanding as our techs are working through your tickets, and they're going to continue to get better as they go as well, but they're doing pretty well already. Okay, so I want to get through some of the Ask Me Any Questions section, but before that, I want to do 2 reviews. Come on, bring all my charts back, please. There we go. Thank you. And we've got 2 of these queued up for us to review. I feel like there was one other thing I want to show you guys today. Okay, one of my favorite plays on double cross double moves. Let me show you guys this. You guys know that the double crosses are some of my favorite. Now, remember, there needs to be a distinction between double cross by itself versus DCDM. Everyone tends to, I don't say everyone, let's revamp this word here. Not all, but many people are myopic right here. They're just, all they see is DCDM, DCDM, DCDM. Don't negate the importance of double cross and typically a DCR. Okay, DCR, double cross reversal, which can also turn into a cluster where oftentimes by default we are looking for a reversal. Okay, however, DCDM, you know the drill. 2 crosses. If we are coming up into the crosses, then we're looking for the double move off of that. However, depending on its placement, and if you go through the advanced videos, you will know that if this comes up to the edge of a zone, then we're reversing. If it is not out in the open, we are reversing. However, let's talk about one of my absolute favorites on the DCDM that showed up here today and was a good one as we went through some of the reviews for one of our members here earlier. Let's go to this one here. Now this one ends up coming towards the end of the day, but I want you to note that when we've talked about in our series, some of the best moves come after a trap. Okay, get really good at identifying traps. What is a trap? We go through a whole video around this. People getting off sides. Just think about it being who's trapped, who's stuck. Do they have stuck people here? Does it look like it went the other way? Does it look like somebody got wrecked? Okay, like right here, I can instantaneously identify a trap. Okay, they got hosed right here. Market's looking like we're coming down, we're coming down, we're coming down, and then yoink, yoink, yoink. Okay, these guys, anybody who got short right there is like, okay, cool, look, we got a little break, we broke below the bottom. You know how it is, like classic garbage ICT trading style stuff. They're like, oh look, we got we're gonna break this, okay, we're gonna keep on going down, and yoink. All right, this stuff like this will be a trap. We've got several of them. I talked to you about the 4-legged dog. I don't know if this is one. Let's see, we got 1 leg, 2 legs, 3 legs. This is not specifically, it depends on how you kind of gauge this leg to this leg. There could be, you could say that that's 4, but still a trap. There are some that are very easy to see, like the 4-legged dog trap. Go watch that video on that one. But people getting trapped in here. This one looks like it might have one here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, yoink. There's your classic right there. Everybody recognize that as a 4-legged dog trap? If you don't, go watch the video on that and watch it through. Now, after we hit the head of the dog, boom, yoink! Last opportunity to bail out on that head of the dog, and they're wrecked. Now, on the opposite side of a trap, the best double crosses come up. This is where I was going with this. The best double cross, I don't want to say the best. One of my favorites though, and oftentimes some of the best plays, let's be specific about it, that around after a trap, we are going to find some of the best opportunities for a double cross. This one happens to be at the end of the day, so time of day is not ideal, but you can clearly see total trap wreck right here, and we've got king timing going on up. We've got a green dot to the long side. Boom, here comes the double cross, double move. This one we're going to play all the way. They're just caught off sides over here, and when you see this happen, it's a combination of stop runs and increasing in size. Oftentimes these will come after those trap plays. So what you're going to be looking for in a classic scenario is we're going to have, now it doesn't have, it can go in both directions. I'm always going to, not so always, but I'm going to show you the long side trap first. 2, 3, 4, trap, classic. Now as we move up this way, what we want to see is double cross. Whoops, maybe it's a little bit higher. You know the drill around these. You've got the box around it, stops down below it, and we want to take a play off of one of these, and we want to take this for a ride. One of my favorites after a trap. People get caught off guard. Now one of these shows up. It's rare that it comes back down into that zone. Once there's a trap set, this sucker's going to go, and some of your biggest, the reason this is so powerful is because of the R ratio, your risk to reward. Remember, your risk here is simply the distance from the center of your crosses to the bottom of the box. So there's your risk, okay, and your reward is often a 4 to 5 R, right? So 4 to 5 times the amount of risk for your reward. Great plays. There's one right there, and we're going to, I think there was another one back here. Yeah, so traps, looks like a lot of people are going to probably try a continuation. Oh, we're up and around. Oh, nope, didn't go down. Here it comes. Boom, there's your double cross. Boom, there's your ride up. Easy one right there. When to decide, hey, this is going to be a good one because we got them trapped off sides. Now we want to make a run. there she goes. Another one right there. And I think one of our students, when we look at one of their examples, that they had another good one to look at. And Don W actually had one today as well. So let's pull that over. He posted this in the live chat earlier here today. And let's take a look at one of those to kind of drive that home. Now, he was also saying that, well, he had a bit of, he was talking about the lag scenario, which again, one of those where I think he tried not to use a trade copy here today, so he wasn't talking about that then, but one of those earlier or later in the day, he was talking about that. But on this play, let's see it right here. So trap move, we got the move down, boom, trap. This one happens to showcase it with a very large alpha omega down there on that green cross. We start to move up, and here is the double cross. Look at that one right there. This is what you want to like kind of take a screenshot of this layout and set up right here. This is going to be one of those great opportunities that, you know, one of my favorites to really go ahead and capitalize on, especially because you've got double delta here as well. Double delta's coming in, giving you all the signs, our typical stuff. We teach you this already. We're gonna look for some of our best type of plays after double deltas, and then you got the trap. Now you combine that with this double cross setup right here. He gets a big move off of this play. Great play. Let's watch it play out. This is only a minute here. Let me turn off the music here, put that on pause here for a minute, and let's play this through here. And we increase the definition here. There we go. Should be set to 1080p there. And I hear he's also got the audio box kicking for him here. Up top, doesn't hurt that he's also got an Enigma up here, pushing to the long side. He's got a lot of good combination going on right here. But I love that there's that trap there that really should just give you that extra confidence to ride one of these play positions. Can you hear the cha-ching, cha-ching?
Goop Discord Nazi scroll up. Reply to SIIX. We use what carat Vinny Emini _AlgoBox.
He's got the audio reader on his Discord. You can hear it reading off in the background. There he goes. Now look at his lag. Do you see the lag there? So some of this stuff coming in at the that like the market moved very, very quickly here, but you know, you hear his targets hitting, but this data is all lagged out. Crazy, right? So yeah, anyhow, great play here. Then boom, we got the white cross here, so I'll be looking to close this out manually if this was set up here. But again, another one of those great play here off of one of our members. That is the trap and go. Yes, there was a combination of other things, so let's say that you didn't know that one yet or hadn't really focused in on that here tonight. Doesn't really matter. He had other things as well too, right? He had the Enigma on the higher time frame, had a nice layout here. We've got a nice curvature here going in, and you know, the launch there into the end of the day. That was an end of the day play. Let me see if I missed any questions. I feel like I lost the chat here. Oh, there's a chat. Okay, let's go to, oh, want to give you a little preview tomorrow. 3 Lions, awesome member in our crew here. I'm going to, we're going to look at his layout tomorrow. I think he did such a great job here. This is a full 16-minute video, so I don't want to go over here tonight. We're going to go over it tomorrow. So don't miss tomorrow's video. We're going to do an entire review through his play setup here. It's about 16 minutes, so tomorrow will take about 20-30 minutes to go through all this. I like some of his setup here. I like that he's got a filtered view here that we'll talk a little bit about. I do want to talk to him about adding one more filtered version of this because he's got the speed coming through here, but I also want to tell him go ahead and add a filtered view for this as well right above it, and I'll talk about why that's going to be helpful if you're doing this and using his layout, why you might want to do that. I also like that he's got these labeled as half, full, full plus, where he's already kind of mentally setting himself up for how he's playing across his 5 trades. So really cool preview. We're gonna check that one out tomorrow. So let's go to a shorter one right here from Low Roller, and really great plays here to walk through and talk through on this one. I'm gonna full screen this and let's do some review through this one.
Enigma short on the NQ1.
Order filled. Target.
Okay, that one hits right away. I think that's great. My concern is that was a little bit of a reaction. It seemed like to me that, I mean, his mouse wasn't even wasn't even really in the proper location. His mouse was, floating pretty far down here. All of a sudden you heard the audio. So he's got his audio turned on the Enigma. That's good, but this was a reaction. Be careful. You really want to be stalking your trades. Be ready for those things. Here's his analysis up top. It said high time frame was in the river and ropes. Enigma play. Yep, that was pretty clear there. And two finger caught his interest first. The two finger was right here. A little bit concerned about that one because it's in the golden ropes. We want to reverse that, which would mean you go to the long side. So I'm not sure if that helped him on that or not, but there is a play coming into it, and he capitalized on a very simple, straightforward Enigma play right there. Nice one. Time of day is also a little bit concerning. This is at 9:31 a.m. You guys tell me in the chat what's wrong with 9:31, or not necessarily wrong, but what's my warning around taking a trade at 9:31? Or tell me, what time of day should you take, your first set of trades there? Well, not necessarily your first trades. If you're coming in at the open, right? If the 9:30 open is there, 1 minute past the open can be a bit unnerving, right? I tend to tell you to sit on hands for the first 5 minutes, right? 9:35 is a good spot to kind of do that. These can be a little bit nerve-wracking there. Sit on hands. Yes, you guys got it. First 5 minutes, okay? I do see some people struggle right there on those, and it's an easy one to avoid. Don't just avoid the first loss on the day. Be careful in that first 5 minutes, and you really should stay off. In fact, if you look at this closely, technically speaking, did you see how that stopped out? Look very closely, right? This was technically a stop out. He didn't have his stops there, and he didn't close out, and it happened very quickly, this whole play. But if you look very close, this actually broke the back of that Enigma, and easy one to avoid the loss. Yes, I'm glad it worked out, but these are the ones that get a little bit dangerous, because when you get paid, when you do something wrong, it reinforces a bad habit. So be careful with this one. So little note there to Low Roller as he's helping him out here with his critiques. Okay. And if I can let me get my toolbar out of the way so I can see his toolbar. Okay, and let's press play into the next play here.
Target fill.
Yeah, and that one slammed, right? That's great. When it works out, it's awesome, right? I mean, that Enigma, just called that perfectly. But again, nervous about the time of day, and he had to take too much heat on it, because technically you can see that was a little stop out right there. But hey, I'm happy it worked out for you. Okay, but I'm a little bit concerned, right? I would rather see you trade well than trade profitably, if that makes sense. I know that sounds weird, but it is, especially when you are in your practice. Now, first thing I see right here, I look over here at the right-hand chart, and this should bother you. It bothers me. What's going on right here? All right, he's already fidgeted with the chart, right? The chart has been moved around, wiggled around. You can see the arrow is telling him that we're not on the far right. He can't see stuff. Hey, Sai, thank you for that super chat. I appreciate you, Sai. Thank you for that. Awesome. Curtis, we got some coffee ready to go this week. How exciting. All right, so this is messed up. He's not being able to view what's happening here on his threes. Got his twos here. That's okay, but a little bit concerning. You need to be aware of what's going on with your charts. You're losing some visibility here. Okay. His mouse is moving all over the place. Looks like he's going over he's on the arm long. Nope. And then he gets off of arm long. So I guess he thought he was going to arm long. Then he's back over here on the sell. A little bit concerned. Again, fidgeting. You know my deal. I've talked to you guys. If you watch my last few live streams with our Mentorship Mondays, a lot of fidgeting, a lot of moving charts around. Don't do it. Rest.
Order fill.
Stalk your trade. Whoa. Okay. What did he do? He went short. On what? Did I miss it? Hold on, let me rewind here. What just happened here? Goes over to arm long. Moves to the right. It's got his finger over the sell.
Order fill.
Okay. Goes short. Says, I'm shorting the green Enigma as a continuation. Okay. So... Okay, someone else also pointed out the speed is very fast right now, right? Bad time. He's not using the psychology module. Okay, so one note, I think this would probably help you out to have possibly avoided this play. You got the speed way too fast off of this chart if you're taking off of this one. Now, if you're taking it off of this one, great, but you're not. How can I tell? Because this chart's all kinds of jacked up over here, bro. All right, you can't even see anything going on over here. Concerned about that. Use the psychology module, folks. Like, that will tell you if your speed is good. Here we're at 747 on the ones. There's some red flags going off here. Pretty good. And yes, that one snapped down, broke that enigma. This really in a cadence scenario. So that looks like a winner. Yeah, winner that went 20 ticks. So winner, this one. Okay, so he's like, I think this one's going to break. Okay, but what I'd like to know is, were there 2 or 3 winners to the left over here? I'd prefer if he was saying, I'm doing this with cadence, but he's going against the enigma. Okay, so always a red flag unless he's just very confident in what he's doing there. If I'm reading this correctly, this says that the MACV ultimate was long. Now this might be broken. I see 359. Yeah, this is old, looks like. So looks like it may have not been on at that time. Oh, he's doing a market playback. So this doesn't matter. Scratch that. Don't pay attention. He's in playback, so there's no MACV ultimate in playback. But he's going short here against the enigma. Speed is bad. Okay, let's see how this plays out. Now, look where his mouse is. Why is your mouse hovering right here? Okay, this is, get your mouse around the buttons that can do something for you. There you go. Put him over there. Yeah, finger over the close. Okay. Okay, now he just closed it. So he's taking a loss on this, going against it. Yeah, I mean, he's basically realizing this might not have been a good idea. I don't see where that would have been a good idea to begin with. He's just he just thinks that one's going to lose because he wants the continuation. I would have been happier if I had seen him, I don't know, have some other reason here, maybe a red dot, maybe something else to go ahead and go short. Please don't just guess against a signal. Now, if it was a piercer, that's different. If this had pierced through and he's like, okay, I'm taking a piercer, I'm going to go, that's different. But he's just like, I think I'm go ahead and short against that. This is not our strategy, folks. That is nothing. It has nothing to do with us. Okay. Up top here as well, we just hit a big divergence to the long side. You've got an alpha omega here, but you need to wait for a signal setup. Masher. This is it's ready for an up move, right? The market had moved up on this one right here, on that little tiny hill right here. It moved up on this one, and now we're at this one. So even bigger, this could be a trouble spot, and you might want to be looking long on this play. Almost 2 try rule right here. So it comes down, breaks straight through it. 2 try rule gets you in and goes to the long side. I would rather see that than just randomly trading against it, especially when your chart's all jacked up. So I think you need some practice. So I'm just being honest. You need a little more practice. I can tell you're just not very comfortable with your tools yet. So spend some more time in practice, and things like this will clear up for you. Okay.
Enigma short on the end.
Oh, right there. There's your short. There's your short, bro. There's your short. If you're going to go short like that, wait till this shows up and take a snag at that. Right? Let's see. Maybe he does. I forget.
You
Order.
Yes. Okay. He gets short right there. No problem with that. Almost immediately the pink dot breaks though. And look at his mouse. Why is his mouse over here again? Right? He gets in short, and then I think a lot of people do this. You guys help me, and I'm trying to help you. Why do you go right here, click the buttons, and then why? Why do you put your mouse out here? You're in the middle of no man's land. You can't do anything here. And I believe he writes a note somewhere in here that he says he couldn't get his hotkeys set up, which will work. We'll talk with him about that. But so this can't be, I can take it off here because I got hotkeys. He's not using hotkeys either.
Order.
So this very bad.
Fill.
He's wiggling around all over the place. He said he accidentally sold 2 extra contracts. Okay. So again, I could tell he's not comfortable with his workspace. You can't afford to have the accidents. Now, I always tell you guys all the time, you don't have to be perfect to be profitable. But okay, so he's getting short here. He's heavy, which means he needs to get out early as well. Always keep that in mind. If you mess up, get ready to close out positions early. But rather than do that, he's adjusting targets. And why is your mouse right here, bro? You can't stop the market. If you put your mouse right here on the price, I promise you can't stop it. I promise you, you can't stop the market. And putting your mouse here is not going to help you, but it will help you if your mouse is up here over the close button, or, you know, yeah, just, this is a bad spot. Oh, if this makes me nervous. Oh, why is your mouse sitting right there, bro? No, bro. What are you doing, bro? No, bro. I'm trying to help you out, bro. I have tried several times to set up hotkeys unsuccessfully. Okay. This we can fix. And use our tech support, folks. At the end of the hotkeys, I did notice this. I need to do an update on that video. The last step, you have to go into your options and enable hotkeys. Oof, that's probably all it is. I'm sorry about that. I need to update that video. I generally always have hotkeys enabled, so I forgot that that's even an option. Inside of NinjaTrader, go to hotkeys, enable hotkeys, and then, you know, we have a whole video on how to do this. If you're in Discord, just type !hotkeys, boom, the video will show up. Walk to the video. It'll get you set up on those hotkeys so that you can buy or sell quickly and not have some of these other issues. But yes, some of that is my fault on the last step. If it didn't work for you, it's probably because you just need to enable it. But please ask in the chat. Someone probably already knows that. Lots of people. We got 36,000 people in our room there. Someone knows the answer to that. Or open up a tech support ticket and we'll get you helped out. All right. Don't be shy. Oh, put your mouse over by the keys, please. Put your mouse by the keys, please, bro. Please, bro. Why is your mouse right there, bro? Oh, yeah. This hurts me. This hurts me. Hey, what's up, Daniel? Changing your daughter's flat tire? That's no fun. That's all right. We'll get your hotkeys working. Low roller, no problem. Touching the green on the wave. Alpha, omega, green. Divergence, accumulation, time to bail. Yeah, he's starting to notice the stuff over here. And he even got into the positive here when that took him deep. Yeah, he should be kind of starting to close out this position, especially because he accidentally got a little bit big.
Order
okay,
filled.
good. I'm actually happy of that. I would have liked to see him, you know, close it out when it went green a little bit there, but that's okay. I'm not going to fault him on that. There we go. He's marking up cadence. That's good. 2 failed Enigma cadence. Play is coming. Excellent work. Now this is what I want to see, right? I want to see some thought. I want to see, here's why I'm about to get in. Great stuff. And look at the time of day, 9:34. Again, another one of those, bad time of day, right? That's 9:34. It's not 9:35. Even this one, still 9:34, not time yet. Now look at this. Here comes 9:35. Here's 9:35. First spot he should be taking entry is here, right? So right now he's already starting the day in a -185 when he didn't have to. He could just wait till the proper time to start playing, okay? Take a note. Carry on. Here we go. Okay, now look what he did. This is good. All right, so he said, I got 2 cadence in the morning. I don't mind this. 2 or 3 in the morning. Yes, if the market's hot, which he can tell, speed is up. No problem here. Most of the time, I would prefer you to wait till 3, but if you're in the morning and you're going to wait for just 2 cadence and then take the next one, perfectly fine. At least you're doing it. Let's see. Coop, you said now you're fixed. Did I miss something? What you fixed on? You had more than one account? Oh. Logged in with a different account. All right, here we go. So look what he's got here. He says enter next. This is the proper way to use this, folks. Here it is. Cadence. You want to take the next one. Awesome. Arm it. Enable. Enter on next. It's not about doing continuous. I see too many people just using this. Oh, abusing the continuous option, please. Watch the videos, please. Execute strategies. All right, so cadence strategy. He's ready to take the next play. Kudos. Boom, look at that. Instantaneous entry. Look at that. No reaction. His mouse is right here, but it's okay, right? Because why? Because he's got it up here, although I would prefer you develop the habit, especially if you don't have hotkeys, that you should be trying to keep your mouse in this zone. Okay, this is your control. And actually it's even smaller than that, right here. Just right in this zone. Keep your mouse in this zone, like almost like make it a bullseye target or something. Keep your mouse here. Keep your mouse here. Everywhere else is wasted time and space and is risky. All right. carry on. So this instantaneously got him in short. Very nice. He was in quantity 2 because he had already lost some, so he's already having to bump up. That's okay. He's doing this properly. Lets the system
Short
enter
on the
in on its
NQ2.
own. He's adjusting his target, moving a target out.
Enigma
Okay.
short on the NQ3.
Moving another target.
Order
He's
filled.
adding to his position there. Oof. Okay. Let me think about why he added there. You shouldn't be adding right there. I know this is a lot of critique, but yeah, you just shouldn't add right there. Add when you get a signal along with you or a white cross, something like that. You're adding right there, and I know it's moving with you, so it's okay, but bad habit, okay? On top of that, over here on the right, you've got some danger here. You've got double green Enigma showing up there. I don't think it's time to add to that position. Just my opinion. Okay. Oh, second Enigma. Did I miss it? Second Enigma. Talking about this one? Well, if that's it, I mean, you're way behind on that. Okay, but I got you. If you added there, okay, I'll give that to you. Credit. Good. Okay, there's a red dot. There's a spot that you might want to add, but okay, I hear you. If this one came up after, I got you. So I would have rather seen you add on the red dot here. And let's see, were we with, you can't really tell if you're with MacV or not. But when you're behind on your first entry type of scenario, remember, you got to close on the opposing signal, okay? I would prefer to have seen you as you're entering in short on this, and as one of these shows up, especially when it didn't break, you really should be thinking, go ahead and bail on that position. If one little dot can hold that up, then it's not, your play is not powerful enough. You want to enter on an Enigma and target one, and then close on the opposing signal. And it's not then. If an opposing color shows up, close, win. If you just get in a habit of this, especially while you're practicing, you will find your P&L follows. It gets bigger, okay? And you'll get yourself out of bad positions. You'll avoid them. It'll keep you in the best of plays too, okay? Even if you could take a small loss or a small win, I would rather see small loss, small win, and then hit the big ones rather than trying to make a small one into a big one here, because this is a small because those sat there. You should close on opposing signal. Any of these, if you're playing like this, close on the opposing signal, okay? Or at least half off, okay? You're in a little bit heavy here for the current situation with your sizing. So just a note there, I would close out on some of those dots there as they're showing up. Yes, close on the opposing signal. Close on the opposing. There's one right there. Another one shows up. Please close. Please close. Close. Okay, you're up $305 right there just to that one. Close it. I would rather see you close it and then re-enter. You can always re-enter, but these can be very dangerous. If that sucker goes, what are you going to do? You're holding the bag, okay? You got to at least close half the position. All right, now I don't see your half buttons. Maybe this is an old video, but I don't see close half and double here, so maybe this is an older, I think this was an old video. I don't know that it had come out yet, but there's no halves. But you gotta start peeling off some of these here when you're starting to get this many signals at a spot like this.
Target filled.
Okay, good. Okay, but now close the position. Like, close it.
Target filled.
Okay, I'm happy
filled.
for you. I really am. I'm happy, but as I said earlier,
Target
this is dangerous
filled.
when you get paid for getting lucky. All right, we're trying not to get lucky.
Target
That one
filled.
worked out really well. Okay, yes, the Enigmas really did carry it on down there, but still, I would be happier watching you have closed out those positions on the opposing, and then if one of them breaks, like that headshot broke right there, enter in the position right here, hold it down, then exit again. Same thing, opposing signal. Right, I would rather see that. So I would replay this, go play this day again, and replay this with the exit on the opposing signal on a break piercer, add it back, okay, get back into the position, and then ride it down to opposing signal again. Okay, but take heed to the opposing signals and it will help you out a lot. All right, next play. I see a headshot there and a pink dot on the right. Is he going to take this short? Let's see.
CZMNQ on the 2.
Oh, double cross. There we go. Did we get a trap? Yep, I see trap here. We see headshot here, double cross. Another one of those plays where I like seeing these come in at a spot where we got a trap down below and then we move up, double cross. Cool. There's your target. Nice play.
Order filled.
He goes for it. Excellent.
Exit.
Oh, boo. That's okay. Let's see if he's going to do a retry. 2-try rule.
Order filled.
Yep, he does. Excellent. 2-try rule. Doubled the position. Okay, increases size. Great.
Order filled.
Don't mess with your stops first. Put your finger over the close. Move your targets. Oof. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Habits. Remember, I know, man, it feels like I'm over critiquing you, but listen, you're not ready to go live. I'm really just telling you, you got a lot to practice here. It's okay. This is playback for you. I know, but that's what we're here for. Critique the things you're doing. Just a lot of small stuff here. Okay. Enter into the position. Don't go for your stops. Remember, you can always press close, although you should have your thumb over the close. If you had your hotkeys, G6, you'd have it there. So you wouldn't be worried about trying to fiddle fart around with moving your stops up here. Just focus on getting your targets out there. You know this is going to be one of those bigger plays here where you've got you want that risk reward to play in. You got this little tiny stop here and you've got this big reward. You want to play that out. Get those targets out where they need to be. Get them out of the way. Use your close button or your thumb. I would prefer you seeing that than to, start wiggling around with the targets. I don't know why your mouse is down here, bro. Like, if you had to emergency brake, close this out or anything, you're not anywhere close to being able to do it. And we already know your hotkeys aren't working, so get it up there. I know I'm beating you up, bro, but I'm trying to help you. I want you guys to succeed. I want you to win. All right, now you can exit on some right here because you got a red dot. I don't know why the quality all of a sudden dropped to 720. There we go, a little bit higher again.
Order filled.
Yeah, that's a scenario where I want to close half. Don't necessarily want to close full on that, but a cross shows up. There's where you want to close out. Full position, half on a dot, full on a cross. Or hold it all the way to the gold line there. It's all right. All of these mess ups, and he's still up $830, folks. That's pretty awesome. Excellent work.
Order filled.
All right, what's he getting in on here? I don't know, so that could make me nervous. I don't know what he's getting in on here. Is that a headshot? Okay, is he headshot long? Okay. Oh, there is an enigma behind it too. Okay, I could get you that. He's got headshot coming up right here. He's got it nice and deep in there too. That's good. He's got the enigma back behind him. Okay, yeah, I can see this play. All right, good. He said double fib. Oh, double dot. Okay, double fib dot. And I think he's also counting this one as well. So double fib, headshot play, toe in the water. Yeah, and he went small. Good. Not a super play, but it's decent.
Target filled.
Excellent.
Target filled.
Excellent. He's up over 1K already. Look at that. Now, I haven't been keeping with track of how many trades he's doing. Mind you, he's in playback. He's just practicing and things. So this isn't, he's not live. So, he doesn't need to do, winner, chicken dinner here. He needs to get a lot of plays in. So excellent work. Hey, well done. Closes out his session over 1,000. I think he said it was up 1,085 when I saw it. 1,075. Awesome work there. Low roller. All right, we got one more of these to go through. I say that. Is the other one Lions? I want to save his for tomorrow. We come back here. Sorry, give me one moment. Let's pop to Bids for review. Overall, 3 lines. Push rookie, these were all long. Oh, okay. No, it was this one. We wanted to show, we did this one. Don W. Awesome. So we get to go to Ask Vinny Questions section. We got a lot of good questions in here. Let's get to it here. Okay. Can anyone help deciding on Alienware? Both have an I9. Okay. Anything with an I9, it's going to be fine. All right. So answer your question. Yeah. Anything with an I9, going to be fine. Yes. Convenient Curtis lists some classic trap reversals for market replay study. Catching me on the spot. So a trap in general, we kind of talked about that at the beginning. Just look for people off sides, right? Let's see if we can get a list. You guys help me out. Type them in the chat. Name some traps here, but we named our typical ones. We got 4-legged dog trap. We got king timing plus delta, so king delta. Oftentimes will showcase a trap. You got the one tick wonder. Batwing. I might need to do a separate video on that. You brought a good one up. Somebody put that in the videos needed section, and we'll go over a bunch, not just in a list. I'll get screenshots of each one and we'll go through those. But yeah, great question. Find people off sides. Okay, here's the key to finding traps. Okay, find who's off sides. Find a spot where it's like, oh yeah, that looked like it was going short and now they got off sides. Boom, now we got to play in the opposite direction. Play the opposite direction. Simple as that. Any of our setups in the opposite direction of a spot where it looks like people got trapped. And you'll get better at that over time. You know, you'll start to see it. Sometimes it's you. You're like, oh man, I just took that short over there. Oh, now it's wrecked. It's going back the other way. Okay, now you might have the opportunity to run it the opposite way. So, yeah, that's a tough one. Good question there. Go ahead and add that one to a section. We probably need a separate video on that. What configurations for AlgoBox are recommended for an old PC? So recently we just did a new update, so you can almost take some of the stuff that you've seen in the past from us on hardware, and that is less a problem now. You can run our stuff on just about any platform if you've got one of our main settings. The harmonics are one of the heaviest drawing components in our system, and we have a new calculation method, and we are working on going ahead and applying this new calculation to some of our others as well. So we'll just continue to be able to move forward on that. It's this one right here, calc override. You go in here to the calculation override, and I'm defaulting it to 1500. But if you got a slow machine, the answer is this: can you trade this on a slower machine? Yes, you may want to increase this maybe to 2500 or 3000 if your machine is still struggling. Come in here and adjust this, but 1500 actually changes a lot of the dynamics there. That is equivalent to basically not calculating every 1.5 seconds, allowing that in between calculation times. So not when the market gets really fast and prints out a whole bunch of bars, your machine isn't sitting there trying to calculate all those on the fly. So new calculation method there for that. You can run our system on just about anything now, and with, you know, I trade strictly in queue. Sometimes you don't have to trade multiple instruments. I still recommend that you have multiple instruments in front of you. It just gives you more opportunities, so you're not having to sit around there and wait for things. But that is you know, my opinion. Everything here is, again, my opinion, not telling you what to do. Trading is risky, don't forget. All right, here we go. Just installed over my existing stuff, no process for. Okay, I'd definitely like to see number one discussion on hopefully traps. Okay, wow, another question on traps. Yeah, so put it in there. You guys want to see more videos around traps? We do have some, so go check out those videos first, but we can do another tap into traps, no problem. If I install Replicanto, can I just install it over NT and AlgoBox? I need to uninstall and reinstall a certain order. Okay, very important. Yes, I should have brought this up because earlier when you're using Replicanto, if you're going to use Replicanto, you need to install it first. Okay, other things like Replicanto or any others, last is AlgoBox. Okay, you need to put ours last, and this has to do with our versions of DLLs. There are some things that are shared between various things. They're very common one, like JSON objects. JSON objects are handled by a third-party DLL, very common to the coding industry. And I found that they're using old ones. Somebody tell them to update. They're using the old stuff, and we need to use the new stuff. We've got new stuff. We are backwards compatible. Like ours works with theirs, but theirs will not work with ours. So thanks for asking that question. The answer is install Replicanto first, install us last, so that the most recent DLLs are there and they work with both. All right. If you install Replicanto and your stuff stops working, well, that'll probably tell you. So make sure you just run our installer one more time at the end. Okay. And no, you do not need to uninstall at that point. Just run it again. The installer will copy the files and put them where they need to be. Questions for tonight's stream. 1, will you talk about accumulation zone? Wow, you just laid out all the questions. 6 questions. All right, you guys are making me work here tonight. All right, questions for will you talk about accumulation zones, drawing them, executing in them? Okay, another one. How do you use volume profile for entries on Ripple charts? Okay. Any ETA on the separate versions of AlgoBox for stocks, crypto, and forex? So this is on pause. We had somebody lined up to kind of work down that direction, and things just did not work out. So I just put a nix on it. We got we got other things to prioritize, but as of right now, we're not basically you can use our system on any of these stocks, crypto, forex, but we're not going to divide out into different versions. And that was coming because we thought we were going to have someone that could lead another room, but that just didn't work out. So we're not doing separate stocks, crypto, forex, but our system can work on all of them. All right. Can we help you with new training reboots? How can we help you with new training reboot? Anybody who wants to go out there and do training videos, put them out there. If they're high quality, we'll use it. If it's not, we won't. Helping me with it. No, like the reboot is going to be super high quality videos. Give me time. Anybody can give me time? We are going to have more time to do the stuff as we have hired, right? I've got Eddie on the crew now. We have Neo on the crew now. They're still getting trained up a bit, so it's still taking a lot of my time. I'm still spending more time, an inordinate amount of time with them, training them up. But once they're rolling, I'll have more time for that. You can also help me by answering questions in the room. Get other people's questions answered quickly, get people videos. So I'm not answering those questions, so you can always help people out in the chat. Help them get directed over to putting in a ticket if they've got technical issues, things of that sort. So thank you for that. Me, Cube, Silo, Stinson, the other day we're talking in pub chat about doing a Vinny Cup where we challenge on the weekend. Market Replay and the boys. Any thoughts on this? Yeah, go to town on it. I will say that I'll just give my honest opinion around it. You have to be careful that it's hard to coordinate people's schedules. Maximizing your time for practice, like what's your end goal? Remember that now if it makes you better, great. If you need the competition to get you better, okay. So I think there's some positives to it. The negatives are you've got to start with I saw you guys already trying to put together the rules. Like, are all of you going to use the same account sizes? And I don't mean during the competition. Who cares about the competition? But what if each one of you is in, like, you're not going to be trading, what if one of you's got 100K, you're trading 100K accounts, somebody else trading another one, and then you're practicing poorly because you're not, there's a lot of issues with this. I'll just be honest, okay? There's things you're probably not thinking about. You're thinking it's all good. Yeah, and it's fun. I think from a fun perspective, but can I think of a better use of your time? Yes, I think that if you were to do 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. Again, I tell you guys how to do this, right? But I feel like it's like human nature to do anything but what the teacher tells you to. All right, I get it. Okay, I'm just telling you. You guys want to do your own way. I think if you guys were really good, then I would say yes. But I'll be honest, I've seen y'all's videos. You ain't there yet, all right? Let's be honest. I think I just did some video reviews for you guys recently. You all need some help. When I see you guys stop fidgeting, you say, I'll put it this way. You guys each send me a video where you're not fidgeting, you're doing well. I have the less critiques around your stuff. You're adding to your positions well. You're holding till opposing signals. You're closing out when opposing signal shows up. You just do the things I tell you to do. And then if you guys want to have a championship, bro, let's do it. I'll broadcast it and everything. But right now, no offense, but you suck. I mean, like, why start championing shit? Like, you're just going to form more bad habits because you're gonna be like, oh, do the competition. Now the competition has got you. I just have a lot of reasons that I think that you have a better use of your time, the coordination, the cooperation time. And even if you are really competing, you're not really competing because are you all trading the same instruments? And even if you didn't, okay, well, who's really picking out better? And are you choosing the same days? Well, you're all seeing the same stuff anyways. And our system isn't one where we don't leave a lot of gray room. Other systems like ICT, yeah, those guys, like, they're all guessing, right? So it's like, who guessed best, guys? I'll tell you something. If you guys were all practicing appropriately, did you realize that you should all have the same P&L? Let's let that sink in for a second. If you are all trading appropriately, according to our rules, in theory, and if you're starting with all the same account size, because that's what I'm assuming you're going to do, same account sizes, you're going to limit how many contracts you can go, you're going to say somebody can't go all in, to go all the stuff, all the rules you're going to put in, then if you guys were accurately executing on 5 to 6 trades in a session, your P&Ls should be nearly identical. You understand that? You got me? So, yeah, I mean, some of it might be different. I can't take into all the accounts of things. I'm just going, you can, I can't tell you not to, but I do think it's a little bit of a waste of time. You could spend your time more wisely doing more of the practice that I've kind of told you to, and you can get better faster doing other things. That's my opinion. Just my opinion. Not swayed. If you want to do it, great. I think it's a hilariously awesome, fun idea. But there's the fun part in me. I'm just not all about the fun. I do think that you guys need to get down to business. You know what I'm saying? That's my opinion. Is there a way to get a trap indicator? Ooh. Trap indicator. You're awful at recognizing trap patterns. Well, that's another one of those. Just go to the left-hand side of the chart. Find people that were trapped. We already have some trap indicators. So the alpha omega, good sign that, look how many times these are going to call, offsides, whoop, offsides, whoop, offsides, whoop, offsides. Now, do I need to call them trap? I don't think so, but maybe. One tick wonder. J hook has a trap in it. Like, if you see a J hook, it has a trap. It labels it, right? I can here's one. So J hook, if you see a J hook, you can find a trap, right? That's a trap. You can see it, right? Market's moving up. Okay, we actually have that built into our system. Okay, so it does pick that trap. You could label it. I'll think about it. Put it in the wish list if there's a way, but there's there would be a lot. Every pivot can potentially be a trap, but you would want things like some size and speed back behind it. Yeah, I'd really have to think about that. It's hard to show an indicator for a trap, but we do. We do. It's there. There's multiple types though, you know what I'm saying? Like this one, it's there, you can see it. It's king timing, turning point, delta. The amount of calculations that it would take us to be able to do that and then go, oh yep, combination, yeah, a whole bunch of things, and okay, put a trap right there, okay, and then what? We could, but let me think on that a bit more. All right, lots of questions here. We talk about accumulation zones, drawing them, executing in them. Okay, so markets move in accumulation distribution. 2 phases. Now, some people might throw in classics of manipulation. They say manipulation, but this doesn't always occur. They're just saying oftentimes this can occur, but these comes into strategies. Manipulation is actually, funny enough, typically a trap. Okay, if you see a trap, even better. You can ride the other side. Okay. Type here, must be getting late. Trap. But in general, all you need to know is accumulation distribution. So how do these move? So accumulation looks like oftentimes sideways conditions, and then distribution is, some move up or some move down. So this is distribution. We're distributing, moving up, and accumulation means we are accumulating in a zone. So the price inside of here looks kind of back and forth, maybe kind of some of this or this, and then we start to move out and we start to go up. And what we're always, not to say always, but some of our best plays are we want to ride the distribution most of the time. At the same time, you can make plenty inside of a distribution depending on, in accumulation, depending on how big the zone is. And depends on, like today we saw this was happening on the 89 range. Well, then this is quite large, right? So from top to bottom right here, this could be 300, 500 ticks each, even on a few bars up and down in the golden ropes. But what if this is different? What if it's like on a 3 algo bar? Well, then this is, you know, pretty tight in here. But can you make money inside of accumulation zone? Yes, it's how you plan your trade. I do think that king timing would be something that you would want to do. Oftentimes king timing is what helps you to land right here. Okay, because oftentimes over here you're gonna have small, medium, large, king, and you get some kind of play that happens right here. That is what we're trying to do typically, is find the next distribution leg. That's what SMLK is designed to do, is to help you find the next distribution, because oftentimes this is more ticks, right? More ticks in that in general, because the size of this is larger than this in the accumulation zone. However, there's only one of these. What if you did 5 of these back to back? So if I'm entering in hypothetically down here, let's say that you're using a super bands or Bollinger Bands scenario, and you know, this is one of the things that CAD likes to do. You know, she's a zone player, this accumulation zone. So here's trade 1, here's 2, here's 3, here's 4, and then maybe up here even 5, and maybe even 6. So is 6 times this better than or equal to waiting for 1 of these? You see where I'm going with this? Like, you can make money in both. You simply have to know where you are, identify where you are in it, and use the proper tool at the right time. Now, he said, how do you draw accumulation zones? It's pivots and POCs. So let's talk about some nomenclature here. Oops. Let's do little dashes here. So what is a POC? This is a Mike Schwartz special right here. Talk to Mike Schwartz. He knows most about this. He's done a lot. I think he's done full trainings around POCs as point of control. And basically a volume node. Like I kind of just keep things simple. I just, you'll hear me refer to them as volume nodes. I'm like, oh, see a node here, a volume node. And this is using your volume profiler. And you know, marking those, oftentimes I'm using those for targets more so than entries. And that is just, you know, there's volume there. It's going to be volume there. But most of the time when you are doing these, and those are the trickier ones, so we'll kind of start with those because I think the others are relatively easy. So we're looking for pivots and mostly sideways. Whoops, swats. They can be at an angle, slight, but in general, when you're gonna draw an accumulation zone, the best ones, like a lot of people are trying to fight these. You're like, well, is this an accumulation zone? I put it like this. If you have to ask, it's not. And this will probably apply to you on anything. How many times do I hear something like, Vinny, is this a double cross? Bro, if you have to ask, guess what? It's probably not. Now, there are occasions where it is, but there are rules around that. If you pay attention to a double cross rule set, for instance, two crosses that are within 10 to 15 bars of one another still can count, right? But if they're far enough apart that you have to ask in general, right, just go, it's not, don't force it, right? And again, maybe put another rule for yourself is, you know, don't force it. If it's not there, it's not there. You know, I don't have room to type it, but you get it. Don't force it. And you have to ask, it's not. Okay, so let's look at one. P for price. So we get some action like this. This should be fairly easy to draw the accumulation zone. So with the pivot, hopefully you guys already know this stuff, but I know sometimes we get some absolute brand new people in here. So pivots are where price turns, turning points like this. So now it's so where would I draw these? You want to cover the majority. Remember, this is horseshoes and hand grenades. This is not we're not trying to get 100% accuracy on things. I'm going to draw a line here. Oh, but Vinny, there's some outside of it. Yes. Vinny, what about this one? It's outside of it. Yes. But I want to catch the majority of the meat of this thing. So I might draw a line right across here and like, oh, what about this one, Vinny? Why don't you draw it down here? Again, same thing. Because what we want to see is, I'm going to draw that accumulation zone, and I want to see if we get any setups around the top or the bottom. I don't want to enter in the middle. You've heard me say before, don't fiddle in the middle. Okay, just leave the middle stuff alone. You draw your accumulation zone with your, I use the region tool. I've showed you guys how to do that in another video, but use your region tool, draw the area, and oftentimes my region tool will color this area. Okay, give it a little bit of color just because I like it. I like to stand out on there. And my eye kind of zooms into the space now. So now I've got plays that I want to play inside, and I've got plays that I want to play outside. One of our favorites is taking a double cross that shows up around the edge of one of these. Okay, this shows up around here. First thing I want to do is reverse this and take target 1 in the middle of the zone. Okay, this is that thing I told you guys about before with double cross. And it's going to be a DCR. Double cross reversal. First thing I'm going to do is reverse it in. Where's my stop? Same play every time. Our stops are simple. Stops go at the bottom or the top of the cross. We've got 3, well, technically 4 stop types now. So box, dot, cross, and triangle. Now that we have divergence, if you're going to enter in on a divergence plane, you're going to get in on it for divergence. Then the stop will go back behind the triangle of the divergence because that is the drawing that we have. So simple, stop goes at the bottom of the crosses. We're going long. Target 1 is right here. And let's see if I can do this in blue. It's going to let me. Blue. Here we go. Target 1 in the middle of the zone, and you can kind of just eyeball the middle of the zone. Doesn't have to be absolutely perfect, but I want to get that target 1 right there in the middle of the zone. It's really all I'm trying to get. I'm not trying to go, you know, and yes, you could go, well, I could do target 2 out here, but I want a 10 tick, usually on the lowest time frame, depends. Okay, that just is estimating. Again, if you're in a giant zone, obviously it's not going to be, you know, 10 ticks. You know what I'm saying. I'm picturing this being on the lowest time frame scenario. I want T1 at 10, 15 ticks maybe, and then my final target here, I just want to target the middle of the zone. I'm not trying to crush it. I'm not trying to hit a home run every time off one of these, but I see one of these, boom. I mean, it's kind of a, I don't want to say freebie because nothing's free, right? You know my point. I feel like it's an easy, it's a breathless play. I was like, oh yeah, okay, gonna get long. Gonna take some ticks here, no problem. Or I stop out right here. I'm not sweating this either, right? Your stop is right here, no problem. Easy. So that's an accumulation zone scenario. We've got if you're playing the bands, you know, CAD plays these, you know, left and right. She plays in on one side, plays out on the other side. She usually combines it with any other thing, Bollinger Band touch plus one other item. Again, net trade nothing alone. I don't know if she trades all of them with something else. I have seen what appears from her trades that she is trading sometimes exclusively that entry, but at the same time, if she's including a trend line, is that another one? So you could, it's like, okay, you can see the zone here and it's a Bollinger Band touch and she might get short there without anything else. No cross, no dot, no nothing. That's fine. I usually tell you guys combine them with something, but experience will start to help you to override things in the future. All right, now pretty easy. Enigma. If I get an Enigma right here, what am I going to do? Okay. I get an Enigma right here, you know, gonna go short. Same thing, stop above, target down inside. I think that the middle of a zone is a great target for things, and an Enigma is going to give you a bigger target, oftentimes going to be 20 plus ticks. So this one is usually a safe ride. I won't say safe, nothing should be safe, but you know what I'm saying. My estimate is I'm going to be targeting the middle. I'm not even going to fiddle with a T1 scenario. I'm going to target all the way down to the middle of the zone if I am getting an Enigma on the edge of one of these accumulation zones. Okay, so what happens when it starts to break out of this? First, I hope I'm answering his question. He asked, how do you draw it? Pivots, and now the volume profile. So volume profile and the POCs, you'll learn these. Let's see, we'll do green over here because they're usually green and red for now, green and blue. So that's going to be the volume that you see over here on the left hand side of the chart. And they don't, you know, we'll show this here in a minute if you don't know what we're talking about, but you should kind of know like what volume profile looks like. So this is volume over here. So what's a POC? Let's show some of the POCs right here. So you look for the biggest ones in your area. So this is one right here. This is one right here. This is one right here. That's little tiny. You might label this one, but really you want the biggest ones around your area. Okay, so you kind of visually think, here's one over here. You got one right here. You got one out here. Now you want to see if somebody's play setups land on one of those, and you might want to increase your size or use them for a target if you start to, like one out here, if we start to break out of this zone, maybe my first target wants to be around the POC that's outside of this zone. Or you can imagine, because you have these two here, you can now play this as a zone as well. Okay, so as it starts to move up and into this area, if I've got a double cross with something in the way, remember with a double cross double move, if it's out in the open, yes, we want to take it as a double cross double move, DCDM. If it is crowded, doing air quotes here, crowded, meaning something else is around it, then I want to take it as a reversal. Oftentimes something that plays up in here, like an Enigma, another good spot where red Enigma shows up in this area if price comes up into it, and we hit this POC. Then what do? Same thing, boom, target down inside. Now you got a bigger target. Why? Because the width of this is larger, and now your center is the center of the middle of the POCs. You guys following this? Is this too much? Again, he asked a lot of questions in one. I'm trying to answer it. There's a lot that he's unpacking here, but same principle should apply if we're targeting middles and stuff. You really just want to take our entries, but big picture time frames, you want to know some of that. Okay, now let's begin a mess. Now let's talk about the distribution. So let's just draw the lines of our accumulation. So accumulating in this area. Wish I would have made it a little shorter, but that's okay. So price has been maybe meandering back and forth between these two, maybe breaking out a little bit on occasion, some of them coming in. Now, what I like to see, one of my favorites, is when they and start to move down, show that four-legged dog trap, one of my favorites. Okay, four-legged dog trap or some other kind of trap, but you just see it. Maybe a cross, big alpha omega cross shows up down here, but the big picture is trap. So let's draw in, let's do blue here. Trap right outside on one side. This is what some people will call the manipulation move in Wyckoff, or ICT's like, all right, it's always got to be manipulation, but how many times is it not? Right? It doesn't show up. He acts like things are rules because I coded the market. I'm demand. Bro, the guy can't even code. What are you talking about? Code and market cracks me up. All right, sorry. So trap outside, and now price starts to go back inside the zone and doesn't come back out. Oftentimes the big play comes from the other side. Once we're out and starting to move up here, like I told you guys earlier, one of my favorite plays is what? DCDM coming in outside of the other side of that zone, because all this was accumulated. We've got all of the orders necessary to make a big move. We accumulate all those. I talk about this more in other videos, where you've got to have things in your hand in order to use them. And this is what I kind of picture the the algorithms that are moving the markets, they've got to collect all of these. This is the collection phase. Okay, we're collecting inside of the accumulation zone. We also call this the collection phase. Okay, it collected enough contracts. Thousands of contracts were collected in here. Now we run them off sides, and then boom, we hopefully, what they want to do is help have a bunch of buyers step in over here on the other side of all the sellers who got wrecked over here, and then have their stops that are also now buy orders because they're buy stops, plus people buying in that are breaking out on the other side, plus people, so just heavy buying on the other side to push this to the next zone. Now you accumulate in one, you distribute, and then you now accumulate again. And while they're accumulating, the next set of algorithms are accumulating, these guys are dumping their contracts. So phase one, accumulate in this zone. We run it up, we distribute, and then what's up here? Another accumulation zone. New price, right? So they're buying all this down here. Cha-ching, they're like, all right, we bought all this, it cost us money, now we want to sell it. This is how they make money, right? Up here, they need to sell it. Okay, well, who are they going to sell to? They need to sell it to the suckers up here because they need some people to buy up here, otherwise who are they going to sell it to? All right, so they need to push it up enough to make it look like we're going up longer, and then they start selling off their orders of all the ones. They picked up 1,000 contracts down here. Okay, now they need to sell 1,000 contracts up here. But is it really 1,000? Well, it costs them money to move this up. So people think, oh, it's 1,000 down here, it's 1,000 up here. No, it's not. It's more like pick up 1,000 down here, takes about 400 or 500 to make the move up, and now you're selling 500 of those up top, up here. This is kind of a weird concept for you to understand, but this is how things actually move in accumulation distribution markets. The distribution costs them money as well, which is why they don't want you in the way, which is why people who are telling you that, oh, you gotta wait till a high volume move, that is the biggest BS ever. How many people are telling you, oh no, you want a lot of high volume right here? No, you don't. That costs them money. If there are people getting in the way, it's like trying to move through, if you want to swim fast, do you want to swim through mud or do you want to swim through water? And can you run faster than you can swim? Most people can, because you're going through air. Which one is thinner? The density. Do you want density here? Do you want stuff getting in the way? No, you actually want to distribute through low volume. People are stupid. You want to move through low volume. You don't want to go through high volume. Oh, it's not a confirmed move because it's not. That's why they wonder why they're broke. I learned it on Twitter. Next. All right, so we move through low volume distribution and then accumulation again up top. So these are the moves, and generally we want to try to catch this because this typically is, you know, the biggest moves. These are the ones where we catch runners. But just in case we don't, what do we have, right? For our system, the reason that, you know, we can kind of win in both is fine. We're T1, T2. This is where we live. And T1, T2 can be from here to here, right? But we could also have a runner that continues on and we wait until the opposing signal that might show up at the next accumulation zone where they're going to start, you know, expelling their orders, right? But this is what I focus on. If you're a business owner, again, take in chunks, right? T1, T2, chunk. T1, T2, chunk. T1, T2, chunk. Runner, cool. Bonus. You guys getting this? Is this helpful? Am I boring you to tears? We've been chatting for a long time. It's an hour and a half. Covered a lot of stuff. I'm going to answer one more question and pop any questions there in the chat. I'll leave 5 minutes here at the end for the public chat. You guys hanging out here in the live stream. I think I answered all those questions. Accumulation zones, drawing them, executing in them. Volume profile, we talked about that a little bit. Probably needs a full video around this. I've done this in live streams a lot. I don't focus a lot on this because, again, our system can kind of override all this if you just play it well, but these can be used good for targets. I really do think targets, but I think accumulation and distribution are pretty easy to see. I teach about them in the training videos, but we can do more extensive videos on that in other sessions for sure, no problem. Somebody asked, thank you. Someone said he doesn't anymore. I felt annoyed. Okay. Somebody's asking about, do we do 40-day calls anymore? So we've grown so big, I can't scale it. I prefer to come out here on a Mentorship Monday, ask your questions here in a chat, and we can do those. However, I'm still open to one-on-ones. If you're struggling, if you need a call, if you feel like you need to, folks, I don't charge you for it. You want to get on a call, we'll chat, we'll talk, we'll try to help you out. Again, nothing that I'm giving you is specifically trading advice. It's educational and entertainment purposes only, giving you my opinions on things, never telling you what you should do. But if you're asking me how I would do things, how I would apply things, I'm there to tell you what I would do in my shoes, how I execute on things, and I can get you kind of on track if you want to do things the way that I do them. Again, if you want to do them like I do. Make sense? Any others? CDCDM, let's see, just checking. I'm trying to read all these. John to the volume profile videos, okay. Oh, Mike Schwartz is how you found AlgoBox. Fantastic. Yeah, he's big on the volume profile stuff. He does a great job teaching through that. He does a better job than I do. Probably because I really never, I don't even think I did a specific volume profile video, have I? I don't think so. I just use it for targets, so I'm kind of like, there's a POC target. You know, it's like, beep. At the same time, I want to focus on T1, T2, and I'd rather see you just hold till an opposing color. I'll be honest. Like, forget the POC. Like, why target inside the POC? Wait till one of the signals shows up in there, right? So it's not super important. If you didn't get that or didn't understand that or whatever, don't feel like you're really missing out on stuff. But if you're wondering in my live streams, if on occasion I might go ahead and identify it and like I'll mark it and show it, but it's not exactly critical to our trading. Here's the volume profile on the left, starting to show it, so you can see right there's your POC. Oh, just totally crooked line there, Vinny. Somebody's tired. All right, there we go. There's your POC going across there, right? Any other questions? Let's see. Mike is nice, good crew. Great explanation for the accumulation zone. Very helpful, thankful. Awesome. Okay, tomorrow gonna be a good one with 3 lions, a 15-minute assessment, and we're gonna talk about his cool layout here for his 5 trade layout digitized and what he's doing right here with the tape. All right, thanks for hanging out. For me, Pippi, Robbie, Munchbot, Mod Squad, Curtis, G, and the rest of the gang, I am sitting out the big H-Town. Yeah.